Hello everybody, I'm Brian Murphy. Nice to see you guys. The certification, it's called Pilatibarre. That's what we have. So before we go into the full thing, I want to introduce myself. I'm Brian Murphy, and I have been teaching Pilates since 1998. We've had a studio for many years, and it's been a joy. One of the things that I tell everybody about my Pilates training, I'm also a professional ballet dancer. And as a professional ballet dancer, I've never been injured in the sense of like these long injuries, and I'm still dancing today at my age, at 52 years old. And the reason why is because of the Pilates. All right, what to expect? So if you can see that out there, one of the main things that we feel very strong about auto certification is the hands-on approach. So the minute you walk in the door, you get your manual, you get your information, we look at each other, we're gonna start working on the exercises. The reason why that's important is that when you start working on it in the physical sense, you're gonna learn what it means anatomical, and you're gonna learn about intellectual, and then you're also gonna learn how to cue it. So all those things are gonna be taught immediately. And why that's important? Because you need to be prepared. Doesn't mean that you can't learn that at home, but not here. You're gonna learn here, you're gonna learn the exercises here, you're gonna learn how to do it here. So the hands-on approach is essential. And immediately, like it says here, you're gonna be teaching, you're gonna be cueing, and bottom line, you wanna feel confident in the space. You want to feel confident that when you walk into space, the space here, you have 12 people, you're going to know how to deal with the 12 people. So I'd like to go, kind of the next thing is, an important part of the training is the self-study and learning. And I go and say this word a lot, but repetitive, repeat, over and over again. That is what Pilatibarre is all about. And I love this little saying, self-study looks different for everyone, but repetition and verbal practice are key. All right, so let's continue on. I'd like to just continue with the evaluation and readiness. So all the things I just talked about learning the exercise, cueing, going home, and self-studying and learning, all of that, you're going to learn how to cue, flow, safely, and anatomy. All that stuff will make you ready. And you start to evaluate how you do it through written verbal testing. When you come in, we talk about, let's say you have 10 exercises that we learned. Let's make sure that you understand the exercises. Let's make sure you understand how to do them, written and physically. Let's understand the muscles that are worked. And let's understand how to cue. All of it, right? I like this little saying here. Certification is earned through demonstration, not attendance. So you don't sit there and watch. The word again. We're going back to the word I love, repetition. So let me go a little history about me. I'm a ballet dancer. I've been doing the same moves for 30 years. I've been doing it. Every single time I do a passe, which is a passe from your knee, I explore different ways of doing it. But my foundation to do is there. Every time you do an exercise, you do it over, and over again, you become muscle memory. Your body remembers. Then your mind remembers. Then you're able to talk, it remembers. So it all becomes this building block to be able to stand in front of 12 people to give an exercise class. And that's what we do. That is the readiness that we talked about. And then the evaluation. Let's evaluate where you are through this process of being certified, so on and so forth. So repetition, very, very important. So what's going to happen is as you apply these opportunities, so you get certified, you've gone through this whole certification, you will be able to teach anywhere now. Anywhere. I'd love to have you here, of course, but let's say your life takes you somewhere else in the world. You will be able to go anywhere. 1, you'll be ready. 2, it's a certified Pilates instruction. you will understand how to do it to the fundamentals, to what the control is, all of it. You will be ready. Okay, so the full certification, you're going to Reformer 1, 2, and 3. What that means is it's like a level 1, level 2, and level 3. You also will learn chair. You're going to learn all about the foundations, about what it means to use the core throughout all these exercises. So that's what that means about foundations and the core principles. And you're going to learn the teaching methodology, right? And the class design, that's what I meant by the design. The order of the class and the methodology. You know, I think that when you learn the fundamentals and the core principles, it's the Pilates method. What we're here is teaching how to teach it. How do you present yourself? And throughout the training, you're going to get safety tips. You'll learn about the chair. The safety tips of the chair, the safety tips of the reformer. It's a big deal, and I am very cognitive of safety. Integration, you'll get assessed. You'll learn classical and contemporary exercises. Anatomy is complex, of course, and you can spend a long time on it. There are basic anatomy you're going to learn, but it's also understanding that when you use your pelvic floor, what does that feel like? Or talk about various muscles you want them to be, obliques or the shoulder girdle. How does that work? You'll learn all that. Cueing, teaching skills. You will learn how to cue it. All right, that's the full certification, and there's more details about that, but full certification goes to the broad, full range of exercises, anatomy, practical, all that stuff. And there's a whole series that we go through to get to that place to be able to test out and say, I can do a class. The fast track is people who have had experience in Pilates or yoga or other fitness, and they really just, you know what, I really want to learn about the Pilates. It's just going to expand my fitness. I know anatomy already. I want to do this. And it's going to be a shorter version because they don't have to go understand all this other stuff, right? Like the cueing, they already maybe have cueing. So the fast track, you're going to still learn all the exercises, just faster. We already know that and there is a test. I will tell you, I have a test that I've put together that you're going to have to pass to do it. Okay, so it's pretty extensive. And once we give the test out to you, we have a certain time frame where you have to do it. That's the two certifications, fast track and the full. So the next slide you have there puts in an estimate of kind of how long it takes. This is something that we have talked about here, and that my team has talked about also, is that you might have somebody who comes in who just knows everything. They're going to jam through it quicker. That's okay. Some of us are going to take a little longer. The main thing is, when you get certified, you have the foundation to be an instructor, and then you're ready to go. You see next to each other the time, how long it takes. One of the ones that's important here is the personal Pilates practice. That's important because once you start the course here, it's important you take these classes because that helps you understand the exercises that you learned. You might even learn the new exercises in these classes. So it's an important part of it. Also, I talked about it earlier, going home and having self-study and reading over is also important.
Brian, quick question. Is there a separate anatomy portion, or how is that incorporated into the training?
Well, that's actually a good question. So you'll go through the exercises, you will learn anatomy as you go, and we will have separate like an anatomy day. Like a day where you sit around and you learn anatomy and you go through the exercise and you go through the anatomy, yes. Just like the chair, there's going to be set days for the chair. And the way the certification is set up is there's going to be a day of learning footwork, a day of learning extension, that type of thing throughout the certification too. So we really are looking at, very excitingly, is starting in January, mid-January, mid to late January.
Question, someone said, can we practice at the studio, or do they need their own reformer or chair at home? Let's talk about the in-studio practice.
So how would it work here?
Yeah.
So we agree that they can work here in the studio. So there will be set times that, for example, let's say on a Friday that we decided to do a session from 1 to 4. You can, throughout the week, there'll be times in the middle of the day, say, I can only come on a Tuesday at 2 o'clock to do my own thing. That would be a discussion that we can have for, you need to come at 2 o'clock, we'll make that work. Yes.
Yeah, in the studio, in the middle of the day, there's a lot of hours that are open, training, people training can come in and practice.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have we talked about cost much?
We have not, and that's something that we'll come with you. Yeah, we'll through in an email.
Different ones for different sessions.
Yeah, there's different ones for different sessions. I do have
Cost
it.
of training the studio. No, the cost of training the studio will be included in the training. I think what we'll do is we'll probably have open gym times. It'll be monitored. Do you have books for this, like specific training manuals?
Yes, you'll get a manual. There's also the question that maybe come up is about video. So, I think that the manual for sure, and I think that video is a really good tool too. And I know video is a really good way to keep up to date on the exercise. Oh my gosh, what was the hundreds? And then you can go online, you can look at it. So there will be a library of those too.
And people who have a full-time job, are they able to do this? And because most of the training takes place when?
So the days that we have talked about actually doing the certification and the training would be on Saturday and Sunday. That's kind of what we're talking about. If you look at the, so for example, the full certification, again, these are approximates, right? So if you look at the full certification, it takes about 6 months. I think that for some people, that's great. But for some people, that may seem kind of daunting. So I think that once you start, let's say, for example, we start the 3rd week of January, which is kind of a date that we're kind of throwing around here, is we have a time where you can test out. So 6 months from that date, you're going to test out for the full certification. Okay. The fast track, approximately 2 to 3 months. You might be coming in, you might be just going at it. Okay, I'm done in 4 weeks. Then we can say, okay, let's set a date to do the test out soon after that. So, but the main thing is there is a structured time frame. Whatever that 6 months later is, that is the date that we really are going to stick to for the test out.
Now, there's other programs that are $5,000, $10,000. What are we talking about for your full certification?
Full certification.
Full, yeah.
So the rough cost between $3,000 and $3,500,
okay,
which is very fair. The fast track is $1,500 to $1,750. So that's actually very fair too.
Right, and in the email and the information we send everyone, there'll be more information. Are there payment plans, all that kind of stuff, links? So you'll get all the information. Right.
We want
the
you
goal
to
is to get you ready
Yes.
to teach and become, be able
That's
to
correct.
have a career in Pilates. And then when you become a teacher, besides your own personal continuing education, there's not much you have to do besides, that's you're finished.
You're finished. But it's important.
You want
And
to.
in addition,
You want
you're going to want to. The thing is,
Yeah,
the
learning.
people that we have
Yeah.
certified want to. And that has been like this general theme of all the people we've certified. They have wanted to do more.
Most people have a passion for it once you start it. I know I.
That's correct.
Yeah, and also with the information that we send out, we'll also have some links to good books that people can start getting into, right?
Correct. The dates I'm looking for is towards the 3rd week of January. It's kind of an idea where I'd like to start. Get the holidays are over. We're kind of getting ready to start the new year. It's a good time to start. And the fast track will have a different date start, and the full will have a different date start.
There's no other questions.
That's good questions, guys.
Thank you, Brian,
All
for
right.
sure. And yeah,
Thank you.
and everyone, we will email more information. And you can also reply to those emails. You can also reply to those emails with other questions as well. Okay?
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.